Hello there. Today I'm talking to you about helix, hedera helix to be precise. This is ivy. Now, what are you wearing on your head, Caroline, I would have you ask? And that is, I am wearing a wreath made of ivy. Why? Well, I'm honouring the origins of this plant. This plant is so named and so revered because it was named after the god of wine. His name was Bacchus, the Roman god of wine, okay? Now, Bacchus was famous for wearing his ivy wreath because the ancient Romans used to firmly believe that if you used the elixir of ivy, and even if you drank from goblets, wine goblets made of ivy wood, that it would protect you from the detrimental effects of wine and intoxication of alcohol. So, hey, we'll see. I'll try it with a glass of wine later and I shall let you know what happens to me. Hopefully we can get away with it, because ever since having children I haven't been able to get away with more than a glass of wine, which is fair enough. So it's quite funny. So we'll see how that affects. Another ancient culture that used to wear this as a crown, if you like, was the ancient druids. And they used to anoint people of the Eisteddfod, which is in a Welsh assembly. It's like a music concert. Oh, absolutely stunning Welsh music once a year. I mean, always they're still honouring this ancient druid ritual in Wales, which is quite amazing. So the druids would anoint accolades with this. Say well done on what you've been doing for the Eisteddfod and your beautiful song in your Celtic soul. So it's quite amazing. It's lovely stuff. So really, I mean, looking at this tree, it's an evergreen, okay? So another symbolism of the ivy is that it symbolises the goddess, because it is known as the destroyer and the giver, okay? So destroyer, if you look at these ones right in the background here, take my crown off now, you can see in the background here, it grows up trees, and a lot of people will see ivy as kind of like squeezing the life out of trees. It just climbs, it gets bigger, and eventually will pull the tree over. So that's seen as the destroyer. However, it's a giver in so many ways, okay? For nature, the flowers, at this time of year in the winter, I mean, the flowers are kind of like the last little bit of nectar for bees and insects during the winter. So it's very important for nature during this time, this plant. The berries are food for birds and other creatures. The leaves, even sheep and deer eat the leaves in winter, and it's kind of like a great feast when food is sparse in nature. Medicinally wise, okay, the berries are pretty toxic, right? Like the holly, don't go there. The leaves are highly medicinal, actually. They are anti-inflammatory, reputed to be particularly good for arthritis, okay, in the anti-inflammatory properties, but more so for opening the bronchioles. It's particularly good for the lungs. So for people with bronchitis, it opens the airways and allows one to breathe. It calms the breath and opens airways so you can breathe in that oxygen, which of course is short supply when you have bronchitis, okay? So it's very good. However, it's incredibly important to get an elixir of something like this, of ivy, from a herbalist, okay? Now, it is an important note to know that, I'm giving you information about all these plants, but really to seek a true professional like myself, who's someone who would have a look to see, okay, are you contraindicated for that herb? Can we use that? What medications are you on? How can we work with that to get the right program for you? I mean, that's what I do. I'm a herbalist, naturopath, and nutrition consultant, and I am there to help to guide you on the way, okay? So I know a lot about herbs, and I know when you can use them and when you can't use them, how to extract them and how not to extract them. So I'm giving you information to help you, to help yourself, but there comes a point with herbs like this and with certain conditions, you really need to check in with someone like myself. So I'll leave my details, and you can always get in touch. So back to this. I mean, there is an interesting school of thought that uses this particular leaf. If you crush it, and you crush it along with raspberry leaf, it will help to release a retained placenta or afterbirth, which unfortunately was something that did happen to me with my third birth. I didn't need to use something like this. I did use plenty of herbs during labour and postpartum to help to even to relieve the placenta eventually, with actually a lot of tugging. We did remove it, but it just happens. Doesn't matter how natural and naturopathic you are, nature has its own course of events and it chooses its way. So, but we're lucky in nature because we have things that can support us. Okay, yeah, it's a wonderful herb. So like I say, it symbolizes the goddess. It's used to protect you from the after effects of wine. In fact, this is why I say to be careful with a herb like this, because the druids would particularly use this one as prophetic intoxication. So it would really send them off there, a bit like Flyer Jarek, would send them off there, and they would get all sorts of interesting downloads. So there you go. Yeah, it's a great one. So, you know, I'm going to try it. I think at the very least, all of us can make our wreaths. There's mine gone. Make our lovely wreaths of ivies and have a glass of wine and see what effect it has. Enjoy your day.